Welcome back to the Mountain Morning Show. A little more than a week ago was the Running with Ed competition and event, and of course it's a lot of fun. We wanted to highlight some of the teams, and we've been fortunate enough to have some really great ones in studio. This one I'm pretty excited about, Team Achilles. I've got Andy, Ken, and Becky here from the team. Welcome all of you.
Thank you
to the show. Happy to have you here on Memorial Day. Thanks for spending your holiday with us.
Thank you.
Great.
Well, I first of all, I want to talk about what makes your team unique. So who wants to take up that?
Well, I guess I can start. Andy here is a great friend. I've known Andy for a long time, and he called me up a couple weeks ago and said, "Hey, you want to be in a team up in Park City?" He got a particular team based off another family. We gave it to him. Mm-hmm. And we started to form a team. So he called me and says, "Hey, get some people together." So we got some people together. My brother-in-law, Richard, got Becky here, a good long friend. Another person by the name of Jacob, who has a one lung and a pig valve heart.
Uh-huh. Wow.
And
my boys also helped with the team too.
Yeah.
And
his two sons, Sam and Christian.
right.
That's awesome.
And Ken and Becky are both blind, and
Wow.
so we got to take turns guiding them, and it was a really, really neat experience. It's so beautiful here in Park City. Everybody
Indeed.
knows that, but
Well, there's a little bit of a play on words here with the Team Achilles. I mean, we'll talk about the bigger part of this and the organization of the Achilles organization, but I suppose is that a little play on words too, the Achilles part of it?
Well, the Achilles is part of an organization, an international organization,
Right?
that a person by the name of Dick Traum started in 1983. And the reason he started it, he was an amputee, and he was getting his midlife crisis. He wanted to run, so he organized this particular organization called the Achilles International, and it is to help people who are disabled who wants to run.
That is awesome. And you've run, if I understand this correct, 56 marathons. Is that right?
I have. Yeah.
Geez, Ken, that's amazing. And you've done that blind. That has got to be pretty challenging, I'm thinking, especially the first one.
Yes, they're all challenging in one way or another. However, I couldn't do it without my guides, like Andy. I have dozens of guides that help me. So every training session, every race, every marathon, I'm with one or two guides, sometimes
Wow.
even more.
That is something. So it's not just you racing. You've got people out there with you. And of course, the big part is that making sure that you're going the right direction and safe. But we have to think about that. You guys are running the race, 3 or 4 times what everybody else is, by virtue of that. That's pretty interesting.
yeah.
Wow. Talk to me a little bit about, and Becky, I'll let you field this question. Tell me a little bit about what you guys are dealing with the degeneration of your eyes with this medical condition.
Retinitis pigmentosa is what both Ken and I have, and you're generally diagnosed teenage years, young adult, and gradually over the years it deteriorates.
Wow.
So you go through different losses of, learn an adaptation of relearning how to do things again, using a cane, using a guide dog. And that's one thing, the whole experience of running has been so freeing, is to be able to, like Ken said, thanks to these incredible friends and guides that make it possible, we're able to do so many activities.
Indeed.
Be out there and enjoying life.
Wow. And you do have a guide dog, so who is this?
This is Georgie.
Georgie.
She's my third guide and has been out working for about 6 weeks. She's a
Oh my.
newbie.
Yeah, well, she seems to be good at it, right?
Yeah, she's
And she
out
likes
there.
you, and she knows when to take her breaks, which is right now, apparently.
That's right.
So that's awesome. And Ken, you walk with a cane.
I do.
Typically.
Right
I just so people understand what your day-to-day life is like with that, you pretty much go everywhere, do everything independently with that on your own?
Absolutely. We go through cane travel processes at the Blind Center in Utah Blind Center, and they train us on how to navigate with canes, and yeah, it can keep us pretty independent.
Wow. Now, for you, was it a slow degeneration as well? Did you have the same thing where Becky has had? You're not completely blind yet at this point.
Right.
So you've been undergoing this unfortunate degenerative process for a while. For you, Ken, how was that? Was it a long-term thing as well?
It was, and it is. It's still long term. My sight is like I can tell some bright lights
Right.
are above there, but I can't see you.
Okay.
I can just hear you. I'm sure you're a fine-looking young man.
Oh, well, you're kind to say so. I think you're probably going to be the best judge of that. So that's good.
But there's different degrees of retinitis pigmentosa, and probably Beck and I don't have the same level of the same different type of degree, but mine rapidly deteriorated within the last 10 years. So when I was 19, I actually drove,
Wow.
and I actually wrecked a restored 1968 Mustang coupe.
Is that right?
That was the last day that I drove when I realized that when I turned in front of a truck and totaled it, I could have killed somebody.
And that was, when you decided to give up the keys.
Yeah,
That was probably a tough day.
it was. It was.
Wow. For people to understand a little more about this, because I think it's an important part of what, of the event and how you guys do this, is that it must be terribly painful from the perspective of having things be getting worse all the time. But I suppose it gives you some time to wrap your head around it, I guess, a little bit. Is that right? Would that be an accurate statement, Becky?
Yeah, there is an adjustment process. You can prepare, learn how to do various things. Yeah, there is
Wow.
that process. And I think one thing that running and being active has done for me is it's channeled into other areas. You think, okay, I ran this relay with these guys. What else is out there?
Yeah, what more can you do?
I can go to school. I can, conquer other things. And I think that's one thing I love about the Achilles organization and different groups like this is it really not only helps us have fun in that day, but it really channels into other aspects of our lives.
Well, and a good group of people too.
Yeah.
You guys
Yeah.
all seem so friendly and kind to each
Yeah.
other and supportive. That's got to be an important part of what's going on here, Ken, is the supportive nature of it.
It is.
Together.
Yeah.
Wow. So I want to take a break here for just a moment, and then we'll come back quickly just to talk about some of the race elements of this and what that was like for you participating here in Park City and running with Ed this time. But I want to thank you both for sharing, the other side of it and why it's so much more challenging. Your other racer, as you said, has you mentioned a pig valve, and what was the other part of it as well?
He only has one lung.
One lung.
Yeah.
And running in a race.
Yeah, he did his first marathon a few weeks ago, the Salt Lake Marathon, and he helped guide Ken on that.
That is amazing.
And yeah, he is a great guy. And the thing I would point out is there's just so many neat things to be able to do in life, and this race is one of those. It was
Yep.
beautiful up here, and one of our big goals would be to encourage other people who have handicaps to be involved.
Absolutely.
And Achilles is a great tool for that. If at some point we should give the people the website so
Yeah,
that
we'll
they
definitely do that at the end.
can get a hold of Becky or others and be involved, because it was a beautiful day, a great memory
That's
to be in
awesome.
Park City.
Well, we're going to take a quick break. When we come back, we'll talk more about the race itself and how people can get involved. So we'll be back with more right here with Team Achilles on the Mountain Morning Show after this. You're back on the Mountain Morning Show, and we're here with Team Achilles from the Running with Ed competition just last week. Team Achilles is unique. There's no doubt. We've got two folks here, Becky and Ken, who suffer from retinitis pigmentosa. And then we have Andy on the team as well. And then a fourth member rather, who has both only one lung and a pig valve, which is tough on anybody's heart. An amazing team here, not lacking heart at all, though. There's very clearly a lot of heart in this team to be able to do what you guys have remarkably done yet again. And we found just from discussing at our last, before the break, that you guys have done it, you've each individually done things often. 56 marathons for Ken.
Yes.
That's amazing. How do you train for this all the time? Whereas you have to have guides typically to run. Do you have to have a guide with you when you're training as well then?
I do. When in my neighborhood, there's probably a half dozen people who meet me at 5, 6 in the morning, and we go training on weekdays. And then we put in our mileage on our long distances on Saturday. And there's just groups and people I know who are in Sugar House, Riverton. They just all drive to my place.
What a great community effort you have there.
Yes.
That is awesome. Becky, have you done some other things like this before, or is this the first race?
Yeah, I've run a marathon.
Yeah.
Just one.
Okay. Where was that?
It was top of Utah
Oh, wow.
marathon, and then several half marathons. But like Ken, I have a group of friends that knock on my door in the morning and run as my guides, and we have a great time.
That is great. And obviously, Andy, you're a seasoned runner, as you're not only running your legs, but also helping out guiding legs too.
Yeah, I enjoy
That's
it a lot.
remarkable.
I've ran several with Ken. I think I've done 16 or 17 marathons with Ken.
That's
and
awesome.
I would have done 0 without Ken. So, we help Ken, me and the other runners, but Ken helps me too. It
That
helps
is
me
a-
to get out, and I would stress just how neat the relationship aspects are in running. Some people find out that I do this and they feel like I'm serving him, but in reality, I view it as he's serving me, and I
That's
truly
tremendous.
mean that. It's a great part of my day when I get to spend time with him or Becky.
Well, let's talk about the great day that you guys had in running with Ed. You've told me very wax poetically how beautiful it was, and I know each of you takes in that beauty in a different way. So tell me about each of your legs individually. We'll start with you, Becky, and what was the takeaway for you? What did you feel?
I ran leg 5 and 10, and just incredible. The beautiful, perfect temperature. Could hear lots of people cheering. I was running with people I hadn't run before.
Oh, wow.
So that was incredible to get to know them and experience that trust that came so naturally.
That's pretty impressive.
Yeah.
You have to give away a little bit of that every time.
Yeah.
That must be remarkable.
Yeah.
Well, Ken, tell me a little bit about your experience as well.
I'll ditto what Becky said, but we had a fun experience the whole race, but there was a funny experience that happened about 1 o'clock in the afternoon. It's really hot. Jacob, who has the one lung, he's guiding me. So we're running together on this hot, dusty trail. And Achilles is all about helping other people. And we were approaching this lady, and she was walking. So I naturally do this with everybody. My guide says, "Hey, there's a walking lady or walking man," and so I asked her, I said, "What's going on? Are you okay?" She goes, "This kind of thing." She goes, "I've really got to pee," and there was no outhouse.
Hard to run when you have that problem.
And so it's all open fields in that area. So we go running on, and I stopped Jacob. And I said, "Jacob, let's help this lady out." And he goes, "What? How are we going to help her out?" I said, "We're going to block her." So we went back to her and we said, "You really need to go to the bathroom? How bad do you need to go?" She goes, "Really bad." So Jacob and I blocked her, and Jacob says, "I won't look," and he can't see.
So you're in good shape.
And then another runner came up just right before she started and he blocked. So we had a threesome blocking her.
Nice.
And that's a fun story. And,
That is a great story.
and I helped.
Hey, it's realistic.
You're not gonna
It's what
edit that
happens.
part out, are
No,
you?
not at all. 'Cause that's what happens in the world. I mean, it is a long race after all, and it is.
There are times when it's okay, I think.
Absolutely. What
No,
a great
and
experience.
Jen, one of the directors or the director, she did a great job. We knew her. We called her just a week and a half before the race, and she was so accommodating to
Oh,
help us out.
amazing.
Wow.
Yeah.
And so she is. Kudos to her.
We've done
just
we've done a lot of races, and
Yeah.
this was so well organized. I couldn't have been more impressed with how she and the others who helped her
it is a
did that.
great
Jen,
event, isn't it?
is it Billows? I think is.
Yep.
She was amazing, amazing.
We have just a moment or two left. I want to talk about Achilles International and about how people can be involved, and certainly if they decide that they want to be part of this next year or on other races with you guys, where they can go. So can you tell us a little bit about that, Ken, as we wrap things up?
About Achilles?
Yeah.
Well, again, Achilles is a international company
Okay.
and an international organization, and its headquarters in New York City.
Okay.
And we are the Utah chapter. I'm a former president of the Utah chapter of
As
Achilles.
is Becky, right?
And she is the current president.
Nice.
And she's a co-president with Jan Smith. And our chapter has been inactive for the last several years. And Becky and Jan are really getting together and getting this organization active in Utah.
That is great. Website address for Achilles.
It's achillesinternational.org.
All right. Well, Team Achilles, I want to thank you so much for being here. Andy, Ken, Becky, thank you so very much. You've inspired us yet again. You inspired us last week, and you do it now. And we appreciate you being here. Thank you.
Thank you.
Appreciate
All
it.
right. Well, we'll be back with more right here on the Mountain Morning Show after this quick commercial break.